Have you ever wondered whether guilt is something we carry or something that carries us? I recently watched The Ritual, and honestly, I expected a horror movie, a monster, a forest, some jump scares. What I didn't expect was a film about a man being haunted by a decision he never stopped making, every single day. The story itself is simple. A group of friends go hiking through the Swedish wilderness after the death of one of their friends. Then things start going wrong. People disappear. Strange symbols appear. The forest begins to feel alive. But while the movie wants us to look at the creature, I think it's asking us to look somewhere else, at guilt. Luke survives a robbery. His friend doesn't. And ever since that moment, he has been trapped. Not in the forest, not by the creature, by a memory, a single memory, repeated over and over and over again. And here's the thing, I don't even think Luke is guilty. Objectively, what was he supposed to do? Fight armed robbers? Die beside his friend? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And that's exactly the problem. He doesn't know either. We like to imagine that guilt comes from doing something wrong, but sometimes guilt comes from surviving. Sometimes it comes from being the one who remains, the one who gets another morning, another year, another chance, while somebody else gets none. And no court can judge that. No law can explain it, because the trial happens inside your own head. The forest is what fascinated me the most, not because it's scary, but because it feels symbolic. The deeper they walk, the more they lose their sense of direction. And isn't that what happens with unresolved guilt? You think you're moving forward, but somehow you keep arriving at the same place, the same memory, the same regret, the same question. What if I had done something differently? And maybe that's why the creature works so well, because it isn't simply hunting them, it's exposing them, stripping away excuses, stripping away distractions, forcing them to confront whatever they are trying not to see. Some monsters kill people. This one reveals them. What I appreciate about The Ritual is that it never gives a perfect answer. And honestly, I think a weaker film would have. A weaker film would have told us exactly what to think, who was right, who was wrong, what the lesson was. But life rarely works like that. Most of us aren't haunted by certainty. We're haunted by uncertainty. What if I had stayed? What if I had spoken? What if I had fought? What if? And that's a far more terrifying question than any monster could ever be. By the end of the film, Luke finally stands his ground. And I don't think that moment is about defeating a creature. I think it's about refusing to kneel before his guilt anymore. Not because he suddenly forgives himself, not because he gets answers, but because he realizes he cannot live inside that moment forever. Maybe that's what The Ritual is really about. Not monsters, not gods, not forests, but the burden of carrying a version of yourself that you can never go back and change. And perhaps courage isn't fighting what's in the dark. Perhaps courage is finally turning around and facing what has been following you all along. Anyway, that's what I saw in The Ritual.